What we've got here is something called Nisswa-Stämman. Stämma is a Swedish word that actually means a gathering of fiddlers. And it's a Scandinavian folk music get-together. And they started as really informal parties in Sweden, where people would say, hey, let's go to what's-his-name's farm and we'll, have a little bit of something to drink and we'll just play music all night. And that's how this kind of event started in Sweden, and it started collecting more and more musicians who heard about it, and they came, and then eventually maybe non-musicians or people who are interested in music also heard about it. So they started coming, so these spelmansstämmans became sort of a public gathering where the fiddlers are playing and people were coming and enjoying it. So I based this festival on that idea. In Sweden, it's a real tradition to fiddle. Here we have kind of a more mixed tradition where we have other types of players, like accordion players and other instruments. So it's a gathering of basically traditional musicians. This event actually starts with instrumental and singing workshops that happen on Friday. So you can come, and for $35 you can spend 4 hours in a group workshop with a really master musician. If it's a fiddler from Sweden, a bouzouki player from Denmark, an accordion player from Finland. We have several workshops going on during the day that everyone is welcome to take. This year we have a Norwegian trio. Also up at the Pioneer Village is two dance workshops. One is Danish dancing, the other one is Norwegian. There's a Swedish song workshop for singing, and Finnish accordion playing and fiddling. So it's and then there's one more Danish fiddling one at another location. So there are probably close to 100 people involved in taking these workshops.
We went and volunteered the first year to have musicians stay in our house because they needed housing. The first year we had some musicians from Sweden. I think word gets around in Europe that the people who have come here have had a good time. We try our best to see that they do have a good time. But this should be a very enjoyable event. In fact, they should want to come back.
On Friday evening, there's a big concert, and that's what we call a sampler concert. So there are several musicians just playing 2 or 3 tunes each. So people will know what's going to happen here all day on Saturday. So this is the main day, and it starts with a parade going down the main street of Nisswa with all the fiddlers, and then just ends up here, and things that are going on here at the Pioneer Village, just activities everywhere. You've got a children's tent here with lots of kids. We've got a couple of stages. We've got a dance barn for learning how to dance. And then we have a small log cabin up there, what we call the summer kitchen, for real intimate musical experiences.
I've been coming nearly every year, I think maybe 10 out of the 11 years, and working in the children's activity area. So we provide opportunities for children to have a good Nordic experience, culture learning through crafts. And it also makes it possible for their parents to stay longer at the festival if their children are engaged and energized and excited.
I've been playing Scandinavian music for probably 30 years now, and it's a part of my heritage, and a lot of people in Minnesota. And I think it's important that we celebrate our heritage and keep it alive. Not that it's any better than anyone else's, but sometimes we tend to ignore our own roots, you know. And it's good to keep it going. And I think the fact that there's so many people that are interested in doing that here, kind of testament to that.
I'm not a musician. I can't play anything. But I can really appreciate the talent that I see, that other people can play instruments and they can play multiple instruments. And I think, gee, I get to enjoy this talent. And I think what comes through is their enjoyment of playing these instruments. They're not here for the commercial aspect of getting rich. They're here because they like to be here. This country is unique in that it's really filled full of immigrants. Even way back, they were immigrants. And a festival like this is a way of Americans to enjoy other people's culture. This happens to be part of our culture, but that doesn't mean that you have to be a Scandinavian to come and enjoy the music and to dance. And so I think it enriches our country to have festivals like this from different immigrant groups and different traditions.
It brings musicians together with folk performers, with folk artists, with an audience that is on a journey learning about their own Nordic heritage, their own ethnic identity. And all of us are at different places in that journey. And this is one way to learn something about the music and the folk traditions and to enhance our own lives through that. We love being able to share Nordic culture and helping other people on their stage of their journey towards learning more about their heritage. So Paul and committee do a really great job of bringing together the musicians and the performers and establishing all the logistics and the setup and everything, and having the food and having the dance, all these different ways of experiencing a culture and helping to figure out, if I say I'm Swedish, what does that mean? If I say I'm Norwegian, what does that mean? I know something more about it now because I've been to Nisswa-Stämman.